All right, Forex market update. Let's get straight into it. We have gold here. We've got this supply, which we have identified here. Sentiment is still bearish from yesterday. Not a whole lot has changed. Yeah, still effectively in a downtrend in the short term. Still in an uptrend on the 4-hour, and yeah, we're still bullish on the 4-hour. That hasn't changed. That's our 4-hour low right there. But we are still bearish on the daily. That's our daily high above us. So yeah, we're kind of just bouncing from supply and demand. Very similar to yesterday. Not a whole lot has changed. We are failing this demand. Probably going to move down to the demand here. We'll see if we bounce from it or not. And then you've got supply as well above, which if we do come up, then I'll definitely look for a distribution, but I don't know if we will come up. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Silver, we have front ran demand here. I still think we're gonna get a better mitigation of it, so we'll see what happens there. I wouldn't look to accumulate from the demand. Just cause of the context, we're pretty bearish, but if we start respecting the demand, then maybe we might get a little like accumulation scalp, which we can then long into the supply above, and then obviously maybe we can then short supply back down. Not the best drawing, but you get what I'm trying to say. So same thing as gold, we're just watching to see how we react off each level. But yeah, for now, nothing that I'm interested in doing. Context has remained the same. Oil looks bullish. We had somewhat of an accumulation here to an extent, and we're now well into supply. So the 4-hour is the alley is bullish. 4-hour is bearish. Has that changed? I don't think so. No. 4-hour remains bearish. And we're going to be getting the 4-hour candle close in about 5 minutes. My question is, how is this next candle how's the next 4-hour candle gonna open? Because this could be a potential range. This can very much well be a potential range, but it will only be a range that I'm willing to look at if the next 4-hour candle is a big deep candle back in here, and then we start slowly climbing back up, creating that nice return to zone, and then we short on a nice break of structure there. So it's all very dependent on how the next 4-hour candle moves. So yeah, we will see that. But locally speaking, yeah, we'll look at this as a potential range, but I'm not expecting anything just yet. So yeah, we will see what oil does do. Could you look at this as a potential distribution? It's just too low time frame. Yeah, let's see what oil does, and all we can do is just be patient and wait for the time being. Is there more supply above? To an extent, it's not necessarily clean supply. Has been mitigated on the lower time frame as well. Yeah, I'm not really looking at this from a supply perspective. It's not clean. There's no real imbalance on a lower time frame. It's kind of all been mitigated. So yeah, let's see what price does. GBP USD. Well, we had this range yesterday. Once again, we got the expectational order flow spot on, but there was never a confirmation. There was our liquidity just waiting to get taken out. Yeah, and like you could just tell with this perfect rainbow liquidity with all the previous day session highs just adding up, like you just knew this was going to get taken out. But if we didn't get a confirmation, we were never going to enter, and we didn't enter. No confirmation is no entry. I'm just also trying to see if there's any sort of demand that we could use. Yeah, valid demand. Valid demand to align with our bullish context. We'll set our alerts there. Yeah, still haven't broken any sort of structure. Still very much so bullish. Still bearish on the daily and on the weekly, but everything else remains bullish. So yeah, let's see what price does. Little topping pattern here. I definitely think we'll pull back into demand, that's for sure. So it's how we respond from the demand. Do we break through it or do we respect it? Now, Euro USD, I'm a lot more focused on this model. I had just a quick look before recording. Yeah, like so far, this accumulation is still on the cards, and it's quite nice. We're still bullish on the out. We're essentially bullish on everything but the. Oh, we're still bullish on the hourly. Everything else remains bearish. So, yeah, that's our 4-hour high. Daily high is, I think, a little bit higher than that. Yeah. So yeah, high time frame bearish, but we have obviously created demand in this move up. So I personally would like to see, and we also have Asia high above us. So I personally would like to see mitigation, boom, break of structure up. We're still bullish on the hourly. That is our biggest sort of catalyst to potentially longing this. We're not bearish across all time frames. The hourly is bullish. There's also no supply here. So if we have a close look here, there's no real supply being created on this move down. Like these are all just wicks. No supply, no supply, no supply, no supply, no supply. There is no supply on this. It's all just a very low time frame return to zone, which is perfect fuel to the fire for us too long. So yeah, the setup here is quite simple. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. As soon as we enter this demand, I'm just going to be looking for a break of structure. There's no real refined POIs in here that are of any use to me. Closest thing would be this. So if we do mitigate this as well, then that's just extra confluence, but I'm not necessarily going to count on it. Like if we get a break of structure before mitigating this, then I'm still going to enter. So I don't need us to mitigate this level, but it's just an extra confluence if we mitigate the level. So Euro USD is our main pair to watch, and yeah, I would be paying very close attention to it over the next few hours. GBP JPY. Well, we're slowly pulling back into the range of this move here. Let's redraw a few things. Boom. The 2-day. Haven't closed it yet. So this 2-day candle is very, very important. Closes tomorrow, so yeah, we'll see. This candle will be very crucial. I'm not really gonna do anything on the low time frame at the moment. There's nothing really to do on the low time frame, so we're just gonna be patient and see how that 2-day candle closes. USD JPY, we've mitigated supply. Still bullish on the daily. Well, we're bullish on the 2-hour. We're also bullish on the 4-hour now after breaking structure. Right there. So we have kind of resorted back to being bullish across all time frames on a USD JPY. Something to just be aware of. Checking the hourly. Yep, still bullish there as well. And this is clean demand. Mitigate supply there, yeah. Not a whole lot I'm interested in doing at the moment. Let's just see what happens if and when we mitigate the demand below. It is pretty awkward price action, but we are bullish. I don't know why I wrote that there. Yeah, let's see what happens. All right, Euro GBP. Well, this looks interesting. Very much so still bearish here. Failing demand, as we can see. Yeah, clearly nothing here that I can work on or work from. Like maybe you could get a very local scalp in here just because we have technically. Ooh. Okay. The idea remains then. My only idea here is a very, very local scalp, just on the basis that we have pumped or we have dumped so aggressively that you're sort of bound to have a pullback. So this would be a very counter context accumulation model here, with our Asia highs being there. There's no supply here. Like there just isn't. So it is valid. Time frame wise, it looks okay. This range has been going on for, yeah, 9 hours. It's fine. 10 hours. No real return to zone at the moment, just the Asia high, which is kind of our only main confluence for potentially having a counter context along here. I'm just trying to see if there's any sort of supply that we should be aware of. Not even. Like, yeah, at the same time, there's nothing really holding price from going higher or from pushing up. There's no real demand either. So for me personally, the only thing I'm looking at is it would be a potential sweep of extreme liquidity later on. It's not really official extreme liquidity yet. You're gonna need a few more hours. Oh, ideally at least another hour for price to develop to see where we're at. And then if anything, this might be my POI later on. So we'll move that up for now, and we'll monitor that as we go. NZD CAD. All this is no longer of any use. Yeah, we're still bullish. Still bullish. That's still our demand. Honestly, not much has changed. Not a whole lot has changed here. Let's just be patient and see what price decides to do. Even like supply wise, was there much? Like you have this. It would obviously be valid on the lower time frame. In fact, we might even have some overlapping demand, supply. Sorry. That's fine. Yeah, that's valid for overlapping supply. There's our little inefficiency there. Context is still bullish on the hourly, which is why the demand below us could be quite good for a accumulation model later down the track. This could be a potential range in the making, if you will. We will see. If this does become a range, then obviously you know how I stand with supply being at range high and demand being at range low. I don't put that much emphasis on it, so this might no longer be of any use later on. All right, that is NZD CAD. GBP AUD. Da 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 da. Very much so still bullish here. We are leaving some decent liquidity, as we can see there, but there's just no indication that we're going to dump as of yet. So let's be patient and see what price does. Yeah, what a setup this was to anyone that actually trusted themselves and clicked long, because I didn't click long. I charted this from every single move from about like here, and boom, just never pulled the trigger on it. AUD CAD. Well, definitely bullish there by the looks of it. Bullish on the 4 hour as well now. Still a bit to go before we become bullish on the daily as well. So let's see what happens. Just because of the higher time frame context, I am happy to look at this as a potential range, but I feel like unless we start moving back within the range, I feel like price is going to continue going higher and in search for this supply up here. So let's see what happens. Yeah, that wick there is a good indication that we're going to go higher. Yeah, and whenever price just spends time up here within that or in that deviation area, I don't like when that happens. You want price to spend time within the range, not like on the edge of it. Yeah, not a whole lot more to do here. Price could honestly go either way here. It could pump up, search for supply, come back down, or it could just slowly start coming back, maybe rejecting off demand and then slowly moving back up. We will see. USD CAD. We still very much so bullish. Are we bearish on the hourly though? So we're bearish on the 45, but we're still bullish on the hourly. I do feel like we're going to sweep this so at some point. But yeah, at the moment, nothing I'm really interested in. Maybe this becomes a range later down the track. Still fairly counter context though, but you never know. We'll set our alerts. USD CHF mitigated the refined supply area. We are. Ooh, are we? Are we though? Okay, we are still bearish. Therefore, I am willing to use this as a potential distribution model, which hasn't been confirmed yet, obviously, but this is where my focus is. Still a bit more time before this develops, but we'll see. Has this frozen? Oh no. Trading view is frozen. All right, let's do the old log out, log back in. Okay. All right, let's see what happens here. Yeah, no supply here. This has all been mitigated. All right, next GBP NZD. And this is already becoming way too extended. We're obviously bullish on it, pretty much everything but the weekly. Not a whole lot that I'm going to do here, but I expect higher. So yeah, let's be patient and see what happens. I think we have some demand in there. Do we? No. Maybe there's some there. Nope. No, that's all been mitigated. All right. No, nothing here to do, guys. We're just on a continuous uptrend here. Yeah, we've deviated this tap. All right. AUD CAD. Yeah, this is also that very awkward range I didn't like. And still don't really like. Have we had any sort of structure change? Yes, we're now bearish on the hourly. Still bullish on the 4 hour. Everything is bullish minus the hourly. Hourly is bearish, guys. What should I look at in here? We have a 45 in OBIF. Has not been mitigated. And then other than that, not really a whole lot. If we can come into this demand, then I'll obviously be looking for an accumulation. It's like sort of like that, boom. So we will see. But other than that, not really a whole lot. There's some 10-minute supply. Still bullish here. Still bullish on the hourly. Probably still bullish on the 4 hour. Yeah, not a whole lot here. I feel like price is going to want to chase some of this supply. I'll definitely be looking for shorts when we approach this supply, but at the moment, same thing. It's just kind of like that ranging environment. Price is deciding what it wants to do. Could you look at a potential distribution? You could. It's a little stretched out. I don't like how we're spending so much time here. So I would be very, yeah. I'd be looking at this with a grain of salt, especially with demand being here. Yeah, I wouldn't really be looking to short this. Euro GBP, what was it doing? Yeah, I need more time here. This is all just too close to each other. Let's see what happens. It's not exactly valid, but this could be a indication of price going higher. It's somewhat of a supply block, which I can use. Yeah, that's fine. And then last but not least, Euro NZD. Well, we're technically bullish on the hourly. Are we? Yeah, we're bullish on the hourly. We never broke back too bearish here. Have I done this in reverse or what's going on here? Okay, no. Sorry, we're bullish on everything here. Yeah. That is an inside bar candle. Yeah, we are bullish. Very much so bullish. I would be looking for accumulations. Definitely not a confirmed range. Far from it being a confirmed range. Oh, almost. It's almost actually. But yeah, pretty easy to see what I'm looking for here is simply any type of model 1 or 2 accumulation. Bang. Boom. And then maybe pull back from that supply at some point. But yeah, this is what I am keeping a close eye on now. You know, as much as it's not nowhere near confirmed, I really like the context here, so I will move this up. But yeah, that is it for Forex, guys. So keep an eye out on Euro NZD, and then keep a very close eye out on Euro USD. So yeah, very much so looking for us to start pulling back into this demand and getting some nice breaks of structure. And then this needs a bit more time. What else did we have here? Yeah, it needs more time. This could be something. Awkward position to trade this one. Needs more time. Needs more time. Needs more time. Yeah, and that is it for Forex. And then in commodities, we had gold, which needs a lot more time, so does silver. And then this is all we had for oil as well. So we're kind of wanting a pullback in for oil. Given we're pretty good for time, we're going to kill two birds with one stone here and go straight into crypto. Keep the ball rolling. Okay, what does the context say? We broke to bearish and then we broke back to bullish. So for now, we remain bullish. What is the highest? Okay. 3-hour OBIF. Stretched out too much, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so not really any supply in here. Yep, so contextually speaking, we're still very much so bearish on the daily. This is our daily high. So let's just see what happens. Short term, expect higher. Long term, for now, expect lower. For now, keyword. USDT dominance. Yeah, bearish, and then I think we are still bullish on the 4 hour. Yep, that was our market structure on the 4 hour, which has been SFP'd. So yeah, sort of similar to Bitcoin. Sort of similar to Bitcoin, we are bearish on the hourly for now on USDT dominance, so do expect alts to go higher in the short term. But yeah, overall, we're still bullish on USDT dominance until we break this 4 hour structure. So yeah, for now, short term, expect alts to go higher. There is our SFP. So yeah, like to keep it in like simple terms, I guess you can look for low time frame accumulations, and you can still keep an eye out for high time frame distributions. Okay, we have a hourly OBIF there and a 2 hour. Okay. Awesome. ETH. This range is invalid. Demand mitigated, so not really interested in anything here. What POIs do we have? I have a feeling there is a perfect extreme liquidity POI right here. There it is. This is as good as an extreme liquidity POI as you can get. There is liquidity above, so just be aware of that. And then also the low time frame context is bullish, so we're kind of trying to short a lot. We're trying to short a low time frame short in a bullish low time frame context. So just be aware there. XLM. Well, we front ran our confirmation. Like, yeah. As much as I had extreme liquidity here, I was looking for a mitigation of this very, very clean supply zone, which we never got. So that's just what happens. Obviously, it was already a confirmed model, but I didn't enter the confirmed model. I was looking for the extended tap, which never came. What else? Cake. We are in this high time frame range. I do want to see, yeah, these are way too close to each other as taps. So I'm not really interested in this anymore. Yeah, I just want to give this range a bit more time. Hype sort of front run our POIs here. Like you had this, which can be deemed valid. Although the move up wasn't the best. It was, yeah, quite the explosive move up, and we also came so close to the range low. So I'm not really too focused on hype anymore. We will move on. Asta completed itself fairly nicely. Fairly nicely. If some of you are curious as to why I'm not looking at this as an accumulation, it's because we've only just completed the distribution. So I don't like looking for accumulations as soon as we've completed distributions. It's not something I like doing, because price can be so volatile after completing a distribution or an accumulation. But also give it some time. Pump. Not the biggest fan of the price action here. I'm just going to look at this higher time frame zone. We even have an hour OBIF here. All right, let's have a look at quant. Valid. This actually could be all right. Better than I thought. I do want to see a mitigation of supply first, especially on crypto. Forex with Asia sessions, different story, but in crypto, I need to see a mitigation of supply. I would not be longing this with this supply just chilling here, having the time of its life, sipping on that Kool-Aid. So yeah, let's see a mitigation of supply first before we make any further decisions, if you will. I will use this as demand for now. But yeah, let's see if we can get a tap first of our supply. Move con to the top. Yeah, the range can still be a lot cleaner, but we'll just monitor for now. Link. Not really of interest in the price action at the moment. Yeah, just that awkward range. Let's give it some more time. With yeah, this range kind of needs more time as well. My main focus is like this higher time frame range. If we can deviate here, then I'll transition look to accumulate. But for now, let's see what happens. So this is actually going to be my new range. And yes, I'm aware we did front run a deviation, but doesn't mean we still can't climb up and deviate. Virtual mitigated demand, but not really anything of interest here. Yeah. Pepe could actually be alright. So tap 1 to 2. 1 day, 3 hours, 30 minutes. Tap 2 to present. Okay, we have until Wednesday, 8th of July, 2:30 in the morning. Boom. This is the last point on which this can be a valid setup. There is liquidity above, equal highs there, always a great liquidity target in crypto. Low time frame context is bullish in crypto as well due to what Bitcoin is doing. So look for longs. Now I'm just trying to find the perfect third tap POI, or closest to. At the moment it's really not pretty, but this is a third tap POI, which I don't like, but it's the first thing I'm seeing. There has to be something on the lower time frame though, you would think. Okay, there it is. That is my extreme liquidity. All right, let's see what happens here. You can move Pepe up as well. And that is it for Pepe. For Sui, not a whole lot. Let's give this range some more time. We'll give the price action some more time. We can look at a higher time frame accumulation here. This would sort of be the extreme liquidity. Oops. Perfect. Yeah, let's give this more time. Litecoin. Nothing really at the moment. XMR just completed its accumulation. Same thing when pairs just complete accumulations or distributions. I need to see price just move around a little bit more. This is no longer valid. This could be a range though later on. We'll see. BNB. Not a whole lot at the moment that interests me in BNB. We're failing demand. I expect lower as much as we have accumulated. I do think we're going to go lower. Very high time frame range still at play. Doge, nothing is of interest there. Render, I don't really like this range anymore. Focus is on the higher time frame range. hopefully we can mitigate some supply. Tau as well, not really liking price action. It's just an awkward ranging environment. XRP, similar setup to Pepe. Equal highs above. Context is bullish in the short term for Bitcoin. Question is there supply? That's the big one. I'm not seeing any. Not really. Like, it's too low time frame. By the time it gets here, like, you're already up in profits. So now we're kind of just looking for a POI that we are happy to use as an extreme liquidity POI, which is going to be this. Do we have something better on the 3 minute? Yeah, you kind of have to go for this. It's just clean. Here is my extreme liquidity POI. You know what? That's fine, because you got to use it in relation to the model. So let's see what happens. The only thing I don't like is the supply here. See what happens when this closes, but for now this is supply. Unconfirmed supply, we'll call it. Yeah, not the cleanest once again. The only thing that's in our favor is the equal highs above. We'll move XRP to the top for now. Close enough. Bitcoin Cash, not really of interest at the moment. Trump, not of interest. And then Graham. Graham's coming back. We could definitely have some shorting opportunities here. Got some liquidity here. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It might even be confirmed with that being liquidity there. Just an FY there. All right, that is it for crypto, guys, and for Forex. 2 birds with the 1 stone today. Pretty, yeah, high detail video. Let's just quickly check on our pairs before anything. And Euro USD is our main one here. All right, that is it. Thank you all for listening. I will see you all in tomorrow's update. Peace.